everyone. I just want to hop on and make several videos, kind of do a little catch up. I know I've been out of pocket for quite a while. January the 2nd, I got the flu. I was running a fever and sick with that for a week, and then I developed some sort of secondary infection from it. Was sick and ran a fever for another 2 weeks, and then kind of spent some time trying to recover strength, and now stalked in by an ice storm. So I'm kind of been through it with the beginning of this new year, but I did want to do a little catch up, do some videos. The upside of being sick for so long is I did get quite a bit of reading done. So I wanted to do some book reviews, and then I wanted to also, I'll do a video today too about an issue I had with an event product. So I'll kind of do a little show and tell with that as well. But the first video that I want to do is a book review of the book Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. So there's this one YouTuber, I love his videos, his channel's Quinn's Ideas, and I like watching his videos to give me an idea of what kind of sci-fi books I think I would like. His videos are great. They do have spoilers, just like mine do. So if that matters to you, just be aware of that. But I definitely use his videos to get ideas for things I want to read that I would not have come across anyways. So one of his videos talked about the Southern Reach. It was a trilogy at first, but Jeff Vandermeer recently came out with the 4th book, so I guess it's now a series. And I know this was a movie several years ago, which I have not seen. But after watching Quinn's Ideas video about the Southern Reach series, I was like, I gotta read this. So I read Annihilation, and if you don't want spoilers, go ahead and go to another video because they're coming. But this book was fantastic. If you like sci-fi, absolutely go get this book. I literally read it in 24 hours. I could not put it down. It's so good that I'm reading the second one now. I started it Saturday afternoon or evening. This is an excellent book, but I will tell you, if you, in my opinion, if you kind of don't know what's coming with this book, I could see it being confusing. You guys know I loved the Remembrance of Earth's Past trilogy. And I know that trilogy, some of you may know it better, is Three Body Problem. That's the name of the first book in the trilogy. That's considered hard sci-fi. I feel like that trilogy is like kindergarten level sci-fi compared to this one. This, in my opinion, is a more difficult read. I think I would have been confused in this one if I had not watched his videos and kind of had a general idea of what was going on. But what has happened is there is an area on Earth that's referred to as Area X, and so far in my reading, because I don't remember, I just started book 2, it has not been revealed really what it is, what caused it, things like that. But what's going on in Annihilation is the Southern Reach is kind of I guess a government entity, from what I can make out, is sending expeditions in to Area X. They give them outdated technology, which is not 100% made clear why they're doing that in Annihilation. They give them paper journals, old school journals, to document. No one in the expedition goes by their name. They're told to refer to each other by their role. So there's like the biologist, which is who is the narrator in Annihilation, is the biologist. And this is expedition number 12, or so they think, going into Area X. So there's the biologist from Expedition 12. There's the psychologist. It's all Expedition 12. There's an anthropologist. There were other roles. And I can't remember off the top of my head like what the other ones were. I remember one of them acted kind of military. But when I get into Area X, what the biologist, the narrator, what she focuses on a lot throughout the book is what she calls a tower. But she does make it clear it's not a tower in the traditional sense. Everyone else calls it a tunnel because it goes down into the ground. So a lot of it is spends time going into the tower, talking about the tower. There's also a landmark that they know of going into Area X, the lighthouse, and it's a lighthouse on the coast. So towards the end of Annihilation, the biologist goes to the lighthouse and is exploring. There are signs of violence in it, blood spatters, things of that nature. She also finds a stack of old journals from previous expeditions in it. They're just piled up at the top of the lighthouse, like inside the lighthouse, but in the top underneath the floor. So many that they're even starting to rot at the bottom. That's how long those journals have been in there. It comes out in the book that the biologist's husband was actually part of Expedition 11. A lot of the expeditions, the people don't come back out of Area X. If they do come back, they're not themselves, things like that. So her husband was one who had come back. He was not himself. And he just shows up one day unexpectedly, but she could tell something was off with him. So the next day after he showed up, she called the authorities. And it turns out that everybody from Expedition 11, that when her husband was in, that came back, they ended up dying of cancer. So she joins Expedition 12 as the biologist. She's the only one that we know of that has survived. But I won't go into all of the details with it because I don't want to just ruin the whole book for you. But Area X changes people, mutates them really. And in my opinion, it's almost presented as, in some cases, the next step in like the evolutionary process, but in some sort of like vastly different way from what you would imagine. Some of them are not a step forward in it. You know, some people are turning to animals, things like that. I know what happens to her. I've not gotten to it yet in book 2, but I do know what happens to her, and hers ends up kind of being a step forward, it seems like, as far as an evolutionary standpoint. But she figures out that she has been, you know, infected, for lack of a better word, with whatever is changing entities in Area X. She also discovers in the book, before she really, you know, starts changing, so to say, that the psychologists have been brainwashing all of them, that there were verbal cues that the psychologist could give that would make them forget things or believe certain things had happened or make them do certain actions. Typical, you know, kind of brainwashing, hypnotic suggestion kind of thing. Well, after she gets infected, she can't be brainwashed anymore. She's not susceptible to the hypnotic suggestion. And for a while, she pretends that she is, because she's still kind of figure out like what's what, you know, all of that kind of good stuff. It's an excellent book. As I said, I know that may have been kind of a confusing summary, but I didn't want to give everything away with it. But if you like sci-fi, I definitely would recommend this book. When I finish the second book, which is entitled Authority, I'll do a review on that too. But if you like sci-fi, give this one a try. It's not terribly thick. You can see, not a super thick book. But there you go. A little sci-fi for your reading pleasure. But I'll do some more videos. I'll probably just post them, like, you know, throughout the week. Do some more book recs. Like I said, product review. But I hope everybody stays warm. If you're sucked in by this winter storms, stay safe, and I will talk to you later.